It's up to Diesel, and tonight we're going to talking about missed opportunities in wrestling from the 80s time period. I mean, during this time period, there's a lot that was done, but there are some things that they could have really capitalized on. This is not just WWE, also NWA, AWA. Just imagine had some of these things went down. P.S. I'm not going to include anything that had to do with deaths, accidents. So David Von Erich as NWA champion will not be on this list. And Magnum TA's career after beating Ric Flair Starcade 86, because that was kind of obvious was gonna happen. But not gonna put that on the list because it was that tragic motorcycle accident. Not his fault, but still, unless we can't go back and say, like, tell them, oh, don't drive that day. It was just wrong place, wrong time, and very unfortunate. So no David Von Erich as champion, and no Magnum CA's career because tragic accidents. Wrong place, wrong time. Rest in peace to David Von Erich. Sad that, happened to Magnum CA. He was on to good things. But yeah. Now on to this list. First off, Jimmy Snuka as WWE champion in 1982. Dude was so over. That Superfly to Don Morocco. People don't stop talk about it. He really had what it took to be the WWE champion in 1982. He had the fans behind him. The finishing move was over. Bob Backlund people, I don't know. He had the belt for so long. It's just, they need to drop for somebody else, but they didn't. But I kind of understand at the same time, maybe Vince does say he kind of thanked God that he didn't probably put the title on him with all that murder case stuff. But he didn't get convicted for it. They didn't sentence him for it. So, oh well, what can we do? But yeah, I still think Snuka should have won the title in 1982. Next up, AWA not going all the way with Hulk Hogan. Bad move, Vernon Gagne, just bad move. Look at where AWA is now, not here. I'm not guaranteeing. Hogan was a job for guys to be, don't be wrong. But would they have been at the heights of WWE? I'm not sure because in the mid 80s, it wasn't just Hogan alone. Like people think it's just Hogan alone who helped WWE grow. Roddy Piper as that perfect bad guy that I felt they both helped the company. It wasn't just Hogan alone. It wasn't just Piper alone. I felt it was both of them. They had arguably the greatest baby face of all time, and in my opinion, arguably the greatest heel of all time. So just perfect. Piper, entertaining as hell. Punk always talks about like he was never a Hogan fan. He always liked Piper more. Piper is one of the best on the mic to ever do it. He's definitely in my top. Definitely in my top three, along with Ric Flair and The Rock. Top three to top five, because there's Ric Flair, The Rock, Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper. So definitely my top 3 to 5 for sure, no questions asked. So I'm not guaranteeing NWA would like reach the heights that we did, but they definitely do the best with Hogan. But oh well. Vern, he didn't feel Hogan was a good enough wrestler. They didn't go all the way. So yeah, your loss. Vince just saw opportunity, took it. Too bad. Next up, Rock and Roll Express versus Fabulous Freebirds feud. Why no one thought to do this feud? It's beyond me. You got one of the most over tag teams within Rock and Roll Express versus one of the best heat seeker of tag teams / groups, Fabulous Freebirds. Both like have those like kind of rock star personas. So this would have been amazing. Great tag team title feud. I felt this would have helped both tag teams' resumes. A little rock and roll versus rock and roll type feud. I think this would have been awesome. But unfortunately, for some reason, they didn't do it. Next one, some people agree, some people disagree, but Roddy Piper as WWE champion. I thought he should have took the title from Hogan at least once. I think Hogan chasing him back for the title would have been something great. Some people say Hogan was so great as champion that he didn't need to lose it. So I get the debate and whatnot, but I felt a guy like Piper should have been champion at least once. Taken in late '85 and Hogan just get it back at WrestleMania 2, have a reason for each other to face. I feel he should have, but some people may not agree. But I think he should have been WWE champ versus a guy like that should have held the title at least once, even as like at least for a month or two. A guy like Piper should have been champion. Next up, kind of goes into my point: Hogan versus Piper WrestleMania 2. Hogan versus King Kong Bundy kind of felt, eh. I mean, look at the first three WrestleManias. Okay, WrestleMania 1, Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. And then you go from that to Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. And then the next year after that, the follow-up, Hogan versus Andre the Giant. So WrestleMania 1 main event, and WrestleMania 3 main event, and WrestleMania 2 main event. Kind of feels like a downgrade, to be honest. So I felt this would have been a really great way to follow up WrestleMania, like have like a year of this build starting back from 1984-85. And Hogan finally, getting the victory he deserves over Roddy Piper. And speaking of WrestleMania 2, another main event that was a big missed opportunity: Hulk Hogan versus Nikita Koloff. This would have really been something. I kind of, yeah, I get it. NWA kind of needed him because Magnum TA got into that crash. And then he replaced Magnum against Ric Flair, turned babyface out of nowhere. But just imagine what this would have done for Nikita Koloff. I think this match would have made him much, much, much bigger star. He definitely got more money facing Hogan at the main event of WrestleMania 2. The perfect American babyface is the perfect badass Russian heel. I kind of wish he came to WWE and faced Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 2. Big missed opportunity. Next up, Ted DiBiase's WWE champion. I'm mad he never got the strap. Like, I still to this day do wish that he won the WWE title and then Savage took it from him at SummerSlam or like a month or two later. Moment still would have been big, but DiBiase, in my opinion, the most underrated wrestler in history. A character like his really deserved this title belt, and he's the perfect heel. And then Savage chased him for the title, and then when he takes off him, he gets a big ass pop. But Teddy DiBiase, he really deserved the title, and I just feel so bad that idiot honky tonk man didn't want to drop the title to Savage. So like, okay, we gotta make Savage win the title. I really wish DiBiase won the damn thing and then dropped it to him like a month later because DiBiase really deserved it. Even look at his work before, I think Mid-South Wrestling, dude was a great wrestler, great in-ring worker. And his character was just perfect heat magnet as champion. The $1 million thing belt was cute, yeah, but him as WWE champion, I would have loved to have seen him with that, the Winged Eagle title. That would have been amazing. But it didn't. Next up, Road Warriors going over at Starrcade 1987 clean. This is just dumb. You're in Chicago and you don't let them win the titles clean. Like, are you serious? I heard that during this year, the ticket sales for Chicago were never the same after that nonsense. I don't blame him. You got Road Warriors, one of the most over baby faces on the friggin' planet. And there's a term called Road Warrior Pop. So you're in Chicago, their hometown, these badass, cool baby faces, and you don't have them go over clean. How dumb were you? Next up, Starrcade 87 main event, whether it's Ric Flair versus Michael P.S. Hayes or Ric Flair versus Barry Windham. Ric Flair versus Paul Garvey, whatever his name is. Just dumb. I don't even remember the dude's name like that, to be honest with you. But I heard Barry Windham was offered to, I think, to win this match clean or face Ric Flair, but he turned it down. So why not have Ric Flair face Michael P.S. Hayes? Like, Michael P.S. Hayes doing kind of good as a baby face. The Fabulous Freebirds come back. A Freebirds versus Four Horsemen feud. That was a dream feud. And let me tie that into missed opportunities in pro wrestling with this point. Staying on the Ric Flair versus Michael P.S. Hayes at Starrcade main event. Tie into that Four Horsemen versus Fabulous Freebirds. That's a dream match right there. Flair and P.S. Hayes were feuding for a bit. The feud was very good. Like, P.S. Hayes, great on the mic. Flair, great on the mic. Talking smack back and forth. I was really enjoying it, but it's sad they didn't go all the way with it. Just dumb. Instead, we got, what we got. Next up, the Four Horsemen WWE in 1988. Flair and Tully were already there. And then Ric Flair coming too. I'm not, to be honest with you, like, I wouldn't say I was mad he didn't go, but this could have been something huge. But end of the day, would I go back and change it? Nah. But this would have been a huge opportunity, so I still got to put it on this list. They were planning to do Ric Flair versus Randy Savage at SummerSlam 88 and Hogan versus Ric Flair at WrestleMania 5. That was inevitable. And then who knows, maybe at Survivor Series, Four Horsemen versus, what's it called? Versus Mega Powers and probably Demolition for the other two. And have a huge Survivor Series classic match. But Ric Flair decided to stay. I don't really wrong him for that. NWA really needed him. If Ric Flair left in 88 to come to WWE, I don't know what kind of position NWA would have been in. That probably would have been out of business earlier. But at the same time, in 88, they did sell to Ted Turner, but without Flair, what would have really been done with them? So I understand Flair's loyalty, so I can't really wrong him for that. Next up, this one I hate WWE didn't do this. Hulk Hogan versus Randy Savage 2 at SummerSlam. I really feel that Hogan and Savage just had more to offer. Yeah, they did wrestle in 1990, but it just wasn't the same, like 89. And I kind of wish that they had the part 2 at SummerSlam 89 and Savage take the belt off Hogan. I would have really loved that. And I think that match would have been better than the WrestleMania 5 match, where it's Savage knowing he's going to win the title. Do I think this had a 5-star potential? A little. I feel it definitely would have been better than the WrestleMania 5 match for sure. But I'm mad they didn't do this. They added Zeus and Brutus Beefcake. I really could have lived my life without all that and just done the rematch. And then have the blow off at like very early 1990 and have Hogan win back the title. But yeah, they should have done this match instead of inserting Zeus and Brutus Beefcake. And last but not least, Road Warriors versus Steiner Brothers at Starrcade 89 without the tournament stuff. That match right there should have been a straight up one-on-one match. That should have been just a flat out straight up one-on-one match. And who knows? No. And honestly, if they didn't do it at Starrcade 89, maybe doing a rematch, but straight up have Road Warriors put over the Steiner Brothers clean, have the tag team of the 80s pass the torch to who's going to be the tag team of the 90s, and or the Steiner Brothers were easily. But yeah, I really wish they just did it as a straight up one-on-one match, not all that tournament stuff. Again, I kind of don't know what they were thinking. Like, I don't know, NWA in the 80s sometimes kind of did a few stupid decisions, to be honest with you. And I felt this should have straight up been a regular one-on-one tag team match without the tournament stuff. Get all that tournament stuff out the way before Starrcade and have this be the final match for the tag team titles. This could have been something really special. Unfortunately, people forget that this match happened at Starrcade 89 sometimes because of the whole tournament crap. But I felt without the tournament stuff, this would have been one very memorable match. But yeah, those are my missed opportunities for pro wrestling in the 80s. You guys let me know what are some missed opportunities for the 80s. I will do one for the 90s. I will do one for the 2000s. The 2010s, I will do that if I'm still the YWC in 2020 because I want to let the decade finish first. But yeah, give me your feedback, guys.